Hello everyone and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. Today we are going to be racing in Kei Cars in a new menu book, and when I say new, it's actually from 6 or 7 months ago. But first let's talk about why I'm no longer a millionaire in this game. I got another car from the Legends dealership, this one being the Alfa Romeo 155 2.5 V6 Ti. Catchy name. But nonetheless, it's a very cool car, and one I've been keen to get for a little while, but it won't be much use to us today. But back to Kei Cars. So, like previous menu books, there are 3 races we need to do, and we'll get a prize car at the end. So, as I said, we'll be doing Kei Cars. We've got other ones to do in the future, but yeah, let's have a look. We need to race at Tokyo Expressway as well as Maggiore and Willow Springs. So 3 very different circuits, and yeah, without much else to cover off, let's just get into it. For this next menu, I'd like you to try your hand at the lightweight Kei Cup. Say, are you familiar with the term Kei Car? It's a uniquely Japanese category of compact car, with strict regulations when it comes to size and power. Smaller than either the Toyota Aqua or the Honda Fit, it's the smallest class of Japanese car available. Most Kei cars are practical and affordable motoring vehicles for the masses. But a few are prized for their beautiful design, superb handling, and intricate components. There's the Suzuki Cappuccino, the Daihatsu Copen, and the Honda's Beat and S660, to name a few. What I want you to do is get your hands on one of these cars and compete in 3 Kei Car races. Place in all 3 races and I'll give you a present. Good luck! Alrighty then. Enter the lightweight Kei Cup. Menu book number 40. Well, that car in the background is definitely not a Kei car. Alrighty, let's get into it. But before we go any further, we actually have 3 roulette tickets sitting around at the moment. Haven't spun them for some reason. So let's give these a spin and see what we get. So from the first 1-star ticket we get a fully customizable computer for a Mazda RX-8 Spirit R 2012. It's usable, that's how I would describe that reward. Next up we have our first 4-star roulette ticket, and we get a pile of coins worth 10,000 credits. That's not great, to be honest. And for our last roulette ticket, also worth 4 stars, we get a pile of coins worth 10,000 credits. That's not great, to be honest. Continuing with distractions for slightly longer, I did go ahead and buy the Mazda RX-8 Spirit R 2012 to fit that computer part 2. And this is the very same Mazda RX-8 that appeared in the Bathurst 6-hour video a short time ago. But now back on track, we need a Kei car, and after looking at the options, I found the Honda Beat in the used car dealership, very cheap, 15,900 credits. So we are going to go with this one, and we will see how it goes. I'm looking forward to seeing how this car handles, but we will do a little bit of work to it first. Yeah, the first thing I did with this car was break the rules of Kei cars and make it wider, so oh well. Next up, let's do the structural things. And now the livery. Oh boy, this is a long one. And there we have it, the Honda Beat in all of its glory. Finally, the tuning. That transition into the music was completely accidental, but it kind of worked, so I might just leave it in. Alrighty, we're ready to go racing. Let's go. The first race is at Tokyo Expressway, southern clockwise. We're starting things off in the country these cars are made, but we'll be taking them across the world throughout this video to Italy and then the United States. Alrighty, here we go then for the lightweight Kei Cup at Tokyo Expressway, and well, 20 cars are on the field in this one, so a lot of competition, but we'll see how we go. We're starting P16, so we don't need to overtake everyone, but still, we only have 3 laps to get the job done. We move ourselves up into 15th through turn 1, brushing the wall there a little bit as we're trying to navigate our way through the greys with the wall there, as we are now up into 14th position, so 2 spots are gained so far. We'll see if this trend continues. It doesn't look like we have a massive speed advantage over the field, but it might be enough. A long, fairly long lap, considering we are driving fairly slow cars. As we have a little look up the inside, we have to be forceful, so we'll squeeze our way through and move ourselves ahead, move up into 13th position, and very soon up into 11th with the straight line speed here. We have a slight advantage, and we get through, move ourselves up into P11, P12 rather, my mistake. And yeah, that is the job done there. So making steady progress through the field. Now let's see if we can chase down at P11 just further up the road. We're gaining in a straight line, so having good straight line speed here, given that the track is an expressway, is very much an important factor. As we head through the tunnel, we'll have a look to the right hand side, and we'll make the move ourselves up now into 11th position. We're knocking on the door of the top 10. We just need to make the move perhaps down the inside here. No, we'll go to the outside, and we'll use the speed running techniques to get through there nice and quick, and that moves us up into the top 10 places now. Hard on the brakes into this very bouncy chicane. Those curbs are as high as Mount Everest. Mount Fuji would probably be a more relevant reference considering we are in Japan, but nonetheless we continue to push on, and we're closing in to 8th position. We've moved ourselves up into 9th already, as I've been talking about various tall mountains around the world. Moving into the top 8 now, and we'll probably soon be into the top 6. We've got a few cars right in front of us, and there we go, straight away up into 6th position. So we have made some fairly good progress. It may be possible to get to the lead, but we're not going to be able to afford too many mistakes as we now move ourselves up into the top 5, and maybe knocking on the door of the podium in a moment as we go around the outside. Can't quite take 4th position there, but we will very shortly, as we're trying to look for a move around the outside at every opportunity, and now we'll finally get it done in a straight line. And now the podium is right on us, right in front of us rather, as we have a look down the inside. We'll go for the lunge. We have to do brake late, and we'll get the move done into the right-handed hairpin, and we'll make the move stick there. We continue to push on, and we finally catch up to 2nd place. We'll go for the lunge down the inside as we head over the bouncy curbs, once again getting aggressive over those for the 2nd time, and we will get away with it though and make the move up into 2nd position. The race leader still up the road as we are about to start the final lap. We'll see if we can chase them down, but we have some time to gain. So we move on, and it's not honestly too far into the future when we catch the Honda S660, the race leader, and we'll make the move down the inside. A very awesome looking car. We'll have to try that one out one day. We try to make the move down the inside. Have to get a little bit desperate late in the corner there, but we make a stick and move ourselves up into 1st position here. So let's just hold them off to the end. And that is basically what happens as we cross the line to take 1st position here at the Tokyo Expressway Lightweight Kei Cup. And that is race 1 of 3 ticked off for us. And as we take 1st place here, so what is the prize pool for this? 32,000 rather. So not too bad. And there it is. First race ticked off. Let's move on to the next one. Alrighty, we get going for race 2 at Willow Springs International Raceway, Streets of Willow Springs. Catchy name. We're having a theme of those today. But anyway, we are underway, and once again, a big field of cars, a lot of people to overtake, so we need to get a move on. 5 laps to do it this time, so a little bit longer in terms of lap count, but let's see how this goes. We're up to 15th already as we try and make the dive to the inside. Can't quite make it work, so I have to stay behind for a little bit longer. Took me a while to relearn this track. I haven't driven it for a while, so this was by far not the first attempt at this one, but I did get up to speed eventually. But still, none of the versions of Willow Springs I've ever really clicked with. They're very difficult circuits. But anyway, we will deal with it as best we can. The Kei cars actually do suit this layout quite well, though. It's a lot more, I guess, tight and twisty compared to the usual very fast Willow Springs layout. But anyway, we'll continue to move through the field, and now up into 13th position, and we've got more cars immediately in front of us. Here's one of the trickier parts of the circuit. We're just going to avoid that because I have no idea how to do it, so we'll just make that section of the circuit not exist and continue to push on as we try and make the move around the outside, and we'll try and take a late apex here, get the power down nice and early, and try and push ourselves down the straight and gain a bit of extra straight line speed. We can't quite get past this little guy. Had to cope in front of us, and we'll try to get to the inside. We'll make the move there, move up into 11th position. So alright, progress on the first lap as we hop over the inside curb there, move ourselves up into the top 10. So decent progress. Let's see if this can continue. Another car not too far up the road, so we'll try and catch them in another corner or two. But we need to keep pushing and keep making progress through the field because we do not have a lot of time. So we'll see how this goes as we continue to wind our way through the second lap of the race, and we are gaining. So let's go for the dive down the inside when we can. We'll try and get there. Not quite enough space on that occasion. Now we'll go for it into the right-hander, and we'll get the move done. Move ourselves up into 9th position on lap 2 of the race. Moving on to the last complex of corners on lap 2. We've got a couple of copings in front of us. We'll muscle our way down the inside of the first, and I'm noticing they're not actually all the same. I mean, the car models are the same, but they have different upgrades on them. The rear wing of the one behind us is much larger than the car in front of us, which is cool. But anyway, we will stop focusing on the decorations on the car and actually try to make some overtakes and see if we can get down the inside into the next left-hander. We're a bit far back, but we do have an advantage in the corners, more so than on the straights in this car, and we've half made the move. We're still running side by side, but we'll be able to close that one off as we absolutely send it into the next corner to make sure we get ahead, but it does cost us a little on the exit. Momentum very important in these cars, as we're now sitting in 7th position looking at P6 just up the road, but yeah, you can't really afford to lose too much momentum with a bad line. So when we make overtakes, it's very important to keep carrying as much momentum as possible and not compromise too much. But up in 6th position now, so this race going quite well so far. Moving on, we make a move down the inside and barge our way through and try and take 5th position. Doesn't quite work out for us, and we remain in 6th for a little bit longer. Let's see if we can make the move somewhere maybe to the left here. We're close enough to go for the move down the inside. We try to get the nose in, but just can't quite get there. We'll go down the right hand side though and make the move, and that moves us up and into 5th position now. Moving on again then, we got a whole cluster of cars immediately in front of us as we try and make our way up now into 4th position. We can move ourselves up into 2nd very soon if we can clear this little group, the race leader, a little further up the road, so we'll worry about them in a moment. But right now we're starting the final lap in 4th position, so time is ticking in this race. We do need to make these overtakes. We'll go for the big lunge down the inside. We move ourselves up now onto the podium, which technically is what we need, but of course I want to continue the gold streak, and we will try and go for the big lunge down the inside, and we almost get the nose in to take a second position. We got the nice run on the exit, but we're still running side by side. We'll have to hang it out around the outside. We're off into the sand, and that's a mistake we didn't really need to be making at this point, but we do have the race leader in sight, and that is the most important thing. So we'll stay on board for the final lap, as we have to follow the leader for a bit longer and from a distance, but we'll be rapidly closing through all the corners as much as we can. With not much time left in this race, we have to drive absolutely perfectly if we want to catch the race leader. So we're a bit far back at the moment, which is concerning. I'm worrying right now whether we can actually get to them in time or not. We'll see how it goes as we throw it in, try and brake late here, and we carry a bit too much speed in, but overall we do gain a lot of time versus the leader. And now we're going to go for the move down the inside, and we're just going to ignore the corner there because we're allowed to apparently, and we take race lead. Probably could have actually made that move relatively easily just with the big dive, but nonetheless we get it done and take first position. I think at that point I was kind of sick of doing this race, and I mean, it does take a while. It's a fairly long race, and when you do it over and over, at some point you just want to get it done. So that's what happens. We finally do take victory. The second one of the set. Let's move on to the third. Alrighty, underway for the final race. This one at Autodrome Lago Maggiore, East End Reverse, I believe it's called. And for this one, I actually had to reduce the difficulty down to the middle setting of the 3. This one was quite challenging, and I believe it's just because of the long straight, or a couple of long straights on this circuit just not suiting our car, and we're just unable to gain enough time through the corners, whereas the previous tracks had a few sharp corners where we could gain plenty of time with a car that seems to favour handling over straight line speed with the way we have tuned it. But we will deal with what we have. But anyway, we haven't made any progress at all so far, still in 16th position as we head into a corner I have nightmares about ever since the license test here. That took me far too long, and even with lowering the difficulty, we still have to absolutely cheese that corner to gain some time on the other cars. This race was incredibly difficult, took me many attempts. So at this point I'm just trying everything I can to make sure we get it done. Even then I'm not sure we will, so we'll see how this goes as we get a nice run through there. That corner is really great for our car. We gain so much time through that left-hander, and it's one of the key parts of the circuit for us, because it gives us a good launch onto the straight, so that everyone else with their better straight line speed can't really gain too much time, because we have such a good launch onto that straight. But anyway, we are struggling to get past this one final car in this cluster, and this overtake, when we finally make it, will move us up into the top 10. So we'll go for the lunge down the inside into Nightmare Corner, and that moves us up now into the top 10. We catch up to 9th position, running all on their own. We'll make the move down the inside and get through rather easily on them. We now catch up to another group of cars. 8th position right in front of us will make the move as we head along the straight. We've got that nice launch off the long sweeping left-hander that I spoke of earlier, and now into the braking zone. We'll try and carry some more good speed through here, and a bit of a slide that probably wasn't great for our exit momentum, but we'll still make another overtake up into 7th position now as we try and make our way through down the inside up into 6th position. Bit deep there, but we'll just about get away with it, I think, and remain in 6th position on the exit. We got 5th and 4th right in front of us. Let's see if we can overtake them. Once again, we're coming up to the big sweeping left-hander. That'll be a great opportunity for us, but we've already got some great momentum before that, and we'll make the move up into 5th position, and now down the inside into 4th. Does make this corner a little bit less beneficial for us when we can't take the optimal line, but nonetheless we still make the move stick and move ourselves up into 4th position. Moving on again then, we make a move up into 3rd position, and we'll very soon be making a move into 2nd with a great run here as we start the final lap of the race. We don't have a lot of time to catch the race leader. They do have a bit of an air gap to us, but we can carry some great momentum through here, and that should give us the nice launch onto the straight that we need to try and make the move. We'll see how this goes as we're sitting in the slipstream. Why is that car so shiny? It's very hard to see what we're doing when we're following them, but anyway, we'll make the move around the outside, and that is 1st position for us. All we have to do is hold on to it for the rest of the race. Shouldn't be too difficult. We've been managing this circuit okay so far throughout this one, so we just need to manage Nightmare Corner one last time. This is probably the most difficult of the corners, but there is a bit of an apron on the exit if we do run a bit wide. Thankfully we don't need to make use of that, as we now head towards the finish line, and after many attempts we'll finally take victory here at Autodromo, whatever it is, Lago Maggiore, and finally tick this one off. And that's the final Kei Car Cup, lightweight Kei Cup race. Coconut, I don't know. Anyway, it's done. That is all that matters, and finally we can move on to whatever is next. But yeah, Kei cars are cool, fun cars to drive, but yeah, we didn't quite tune it right for this track, that is for certain. Anyway, back at the cafe, we'll go see Luca once again. Congratulations on completing a menu. I've got a gift card for you. Remember to come by and pick it up. Just wait till you see the body color. Alright, what are we gonna get? Actually, I already know it was on the menu book, but regardless, we get a Radical SR3. What an awesome car, by the way, the Radical. I think it's got a Suzuki motorcycle engine, very lightweight and very fun to drive. But anyway, that's for another time, but we will certainly be using that in the future. Anyway, for now though, that is going to do it for this one, I think. Actually, no, there is one more thing. There is one car I've had my eye on in the Legends car dealership. The Nissan Skyline Hardtop 2000 GTR KPGC10 from 1970. My goodness, that is more of a mouthful than the Alfa Romeo we got at the start. Regardless, it's another car for the collection, and I always try and pick up, cheaper cars when they're available. For a Legends car, this is very cheap, but very cool nonetheless. Of course, I'm trying to collect all the cars in this game at some point, so whenever there's cars I can afford from either the used cars or the Legends dealership, I will try and pick them up, because they're only there for a limited time and you don't know how long it's going to be until you see them again. So yeah, that's why I always like to try and pick up these cars whenever they are available. Anyway, that is now going to do it for this one, so I will say thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it. Feel free to give me some feedback in the comments, it's always very helpful. Other than that, I will see you next time. Goodbye.